Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Nick here, and welcome to my first viewing reaction to Doctor Who The Giggle, the third and final of the 60th anniversary specials, the series 14 slash season 40 slash season 1 specials, and the final story to feature the 14th Doctor. Also, spoiler alert, also the first story to feature the 15th Doctor, as played by David Tennant and Ncuit Gatwa, respectively. It's also my most anticipated episode of the specials prior to the episode's broadcast, but the show coming back anyway made me excited for the Star Beast, especially as it was for the 60th anniversary. And while Blue Yonder's mystery kept all of us wondering what's going to happen in this episode, we know hardly anything about it until nearer to the time. And then the episode aired, and it was like, oh wow, we did not expect that. And I rewatched that episode earlier, by the way, and actually on second viewing, I think that one might actually be better than the Star Beast. Yeah, thinking about it, I think it is. Now that we know what it is and what it's about, we can judge it on its own merits more than what it could have been, or what we were expecting it to be, or what we were theorizing it could be. So on that, I know some people were kind of let down, but on reflection and looking at it again, it works pretty. I felt it worked really well when it aired, anyway. But yeah, looking at it again, I think that was really great. I now would put Wild Blue Yonder above the Star Beast in my 60th anniversary specials ranking as of second viewings of both those episodes. As of the first viewing reaction of the Giggle, I would now say this is my favourite episode of the trilogy. This was so good. First things first, major spoilers for this episode. I'm going to try and keep as much of them as unspoiled as possible, like I did last week. I don't know how successful with that one. The Star Beast, not so much of a problem, due to the fact that it's partially because it's based on an adaptation. It's an adaptation, sorry, or based on a comic story from 1980, but also due to, as well as also how it ties in with the other three episodes, and also it's probably the least spoilery of the three, so that one was a bit more fair game. These two, well, last week it was more so I don't ruin the surprise for everyone. This one is like this is going back to, say, Power of the Doctor, Day of the Doctor levels of, you really shouldn't spoil the surprise for this one for people. Like going back to go back to Power of the Doctor and like, okay, here's what happened in this episode. I know that one was a bit even more stuff kind of happened to cover in a reaction even before you got to the really big spoilery stuff. But yeah, it's like we're going back to something like the levels of that. So yeah, this one, this is a bit of a lot is going on in this story. So first of all, we start off with commentary on the human race as a whole. Sorry, I just don't want my bedpost in shot, not because I don't want it in shot, but because it just looks a bit awkward. So commentary on human nature, the political system, just humans in total, your typical Russell T Davies stuff that will almost certainly make the crybabies go wah, because representation and politics in Doctor Who, like it's never happened before 2017, when everyone started making a fuss about it. But yeah, anyway, so after that, and the final bits of Bernard Cribbins as Wilf. So it's a shame he wasn't in more of the episodes. I think Wild Blue Yonder was a bit more of a better send-off for him, but we're just wrapping off the end of that and the start of this. We're just kind of wrapping it up, and he's gotten to safety, and then he's discussed about off-screen. So these are the very last bits of Wilf in the series, and it is a bit of a shame that there isn't a bit more in this episode, even that start. But he got a lovely send-off at the end of the last one, so I'm not going to complain. Anyway, so Unit then gets the Doctor and Donna to the new Unit base, which is likely to be going forwards. And they team up with a returning Kate Stewart back once again, as well as Shirley Ann Bingham from the Star Beast, and also Mel's back, played by Bonnie Langford. And yeah, easily Mel's best TV depiction by far. I don't think anyone's going to dispute that. Even Pow the Doctor kind might be a little bit better than most of her classic stories, but that's due to, for starters, passage of time, writers, especially if they were fans in the 80s and or of the Big Finish stuff, trying to make sure the character is a bit better, and of course it's been some time trying to redeem some of the character traits like Big Finish did back in the early 2000s. But it's pretty cool seeing everyone working together and everyone trying to work out what the heck is going on to the human race and seeing it all play out. The pre-titles is also really interesting as it sees the Toymaker, now played by Neil Patrick Harris, basically setting up his plans just to cause mayhem because it's fun. Yeah, the Toymaker is a character who doesn't really care about good or evil or chaos and logic. He just wants to have a bit of fun. I suppose he kind of leans more on the evil and chaos side, but mostly just because he's having fun and he doesn't really care about who gets hurt. So he just wants to play games all the time, and he won't do logic unless it's the rules, and he'll probably not be good. But again, he's still kind of doing his own term, so he's still playing about. And if the rules of his games prevent him from doing something, i.e. killing people, then he will probably just leave them. But if they allow him to kill people, then he will do it without hesitation. And I love how much darker and dangerous and more psychotic, maybe not psychotic, but just downright more a bit maybe leaning more into the evil side of the Toymaker than previous interpretations, but certainly more into the powerful and dangerous side of the character than we saw in 1966 or in expanded media appearances. And yeah, by the way, I was hoping for a Blackpool 1985-86 reference to reference the unmade story The Nightmare Fair, which has been novelized and adapted to audio, but sadly that didn't come. They do reference the Celestial Toymaker. At that point, I did wonder, are they referencing the fact that the Doctor and two of his friends from the Decker going? Because I'm interested about the Decker again. Harbour Holmes made a great video about it a while back, and then more recently I've been getting, actually that backstory sounds like really good ideas for a possible story. I wondered, are they going to incorporate the part about that ties in with the Toymaker into this? But I think it's more of a direct reference to the Celestial Toymaker. Appreciates the flashbacks, although the editing is a little bit questionable. I swear the flashbacks in certain new series eras are a bit weird. Like the first RTD era had the kind of the flash, then clip, and then flash again, and like effect and the sound. It felt a bit strange. I can't remember with the Whittaker era, Chris Chibnall / Jodie Whittaker era, but I'm wondering how well flashbacks have been handled over the last few years, because it seems to be a double-edged sword, depending for me personally on the terms of the execution. Still, nicely appreciates the clips use, and they're colorized to tie in with the fact this is a colorized episode. Also, it is the live-action footage, not that of the upcoming animation, which I was going to do a video about, and I'm probably still going to at a later point. But this episode first. So yeah, I appreciate all of that. And I just found this to be a really funny episode. Also got some really scary moments and some great moments where they're running down the corridors and seeing the scary bits with the guy who bought Sticky Bill, the original puppet used for the beginning of television. And that's how the Toymaker is able to implant his ideas in the rest of humanity nearly 100 years later. And then also the dolls family, so to speak, family of dolls tried to attack Donna. So there's some really cool and clever creative stuff here. And this, if there was a sequel to Celestial Toymaker, that did get made. Like, if there was a story that actually did get told on television. Sorry, Nightmare Fair. Sorry, Queen of Time, which is sort of more of a sibling story because it features the Celestial Toymaker's sister, the Queen of Time. But sorry to those ones, and sorry to the expanded media exclusive ones. But finally, we got a Toymaker TV story, and it is really imaginative. A second one, and it's a really imaginative and really fun and really great and even scary in places. Again, back to the family of dolls, or heck, if like my sister, you just don't like dolls and puppets and shop window dummies. It's probably Dalton's that gave her that, as she says. Specifically the 2005 ones. Then yeah, this is gonna be creepy, but also they're making the toy maker himself more creepy, and I love the throwbacks to the Stephen Moffat 11th and 12th Doctor companions, and how the Doctor kind of it pretty much led them to their deaths, or near enough. And then the mention of the Flux, which we also got last week, and how the Doctor is kind of responsible, and he's just running all day, are just running from everything that's trying to engulf them, which is something that last episode dealt with. So I think it's carrying on that characterization, and I like that quite a lot. And it's interesting to mix up the time places again. This is the first of the specials to mix up the time places for the main action of the plot. Like obviously, Wild Blue Yonder went to 3 different time periods. The second one, the main one, we don't even know. But the other 2 didn't really have a huge importance on that main subject. It was the first one was kind of like a gag, bridging from the first to second episodes, and the last one was the end of that episode. Was just end of the episode, and Wolf reunion, and a direct lead into this episode. And yeah, this is just such a great episode, really fun. However, what might have been the one thing that kind of would have let it down does come. Oh, well, actually, there's some really good stuff at Unit HQ as well when the Toymaker comes to invade and he comes dancing, prancing all around. Oh, that was so good. So funny. And when he's about to kill the Doctor and then with the game and all that, it's so good. And then we get to the regeneration. Okay, now for the mega spoiler warning. So if you have not seen the episode, stop watching this video now. Go watch it. It's really good, really great, really fun, pretty scary in places. Go watch that episode, and then come back and watch the rest of this reaction. So basically, I had been going from minute 13 in 5, 4, 3, 2, spoiler warning, and off we go. So I had been hearing rumors, story descriptions about some of these episodes, not so much episode 2 of these specials, but the first, the third, and the Christmas specials, which is technically, I guess, 4th in a way, but it's if we as of the 2023 specials, but I suppose we can lump it in with series 14 / season 40 / season 1. Yeah, I'm going to keep doing that. Yeah, so that will be lumped in more of that, and then these will be kind of their own mini series, but technically they're all still part of season 1 / series 14 / season 40. Imagine if these had been their own mini series. This would have been a great series 14 / season 1 / and especially season 40. It would have been, even if it was just 3 episode mini series, but you could still say it's season 40, series 14, season 1, or even season 0 if you wanted to do that. I wouldn't mind. So anyway, so on to the spoilers. So we get to the regeneration, where the 14th Doctor regenerates into 15. Except this time, not really. Russell has come up with the idea of a bi-regeneration, where a new incarnation of the Doctor splits out of the current one, and then both Doctors, after taking a moment to realize it, play the Toymaker at the game. It's a game of catch, winner takes all, And eventually the toy maker drops his ball and is banished and sent away in a satisfactory, if not huge, ending for the character. But there is implications that he may be back and that there's a greater force out there. He's even rumored about. He's even said he had played the master and put him as a gold tooth in his teeth. And at the end, he leaves the gold tooth and a hand with red fingernails grabs it, and then an evil laugh is heard. Very much Last of the Time Lords-esque. I'm wondering if that hand is Jinx Monsoon. Actually, she could even be the boss, because she's apparently going to be the greatest threat the Doctor's ever met. I say that not in a insult or slander towards Jinx Monsoon or towards the character. I'm more quoting rather than anything else. So when I do that, I'm quoting. So she's apparently going to be the greatest villain the Doctor's ever faced, or they, I should say, because drag queens, technically it's a guy, but pretending to be a woman, but they take the identity of a woman. Just for fun. It's a character that they can play, but also in real life as well as on telly, and the character themselves can have the TV credit. And I'm completely fine with that. I don't see a problem with that. Of course, the Conservatives do, but I'm a Liberal, so whatever. Let's do it. Especially in that one clip of her introducing herself, she was so deliciously fun. So bring on Jinx Monsoon, I say. But that's next series, so hold our horses. But she's another possibility of who the boss could be, as well as also the fact I theorized it could be Boss from 1973's The Green Death. But the toy maker said his legions are on their way, so who knows? Maybe it's Hecuba. Maybe Hecuba's finally going to enter the TV series. I don't know. But then again, Jinx Monsoon's character is going to be all about music. Hecuba was all about time, so maybe someone else from that family. Well, we'll see how Series 14 deals with it. But we'll get to Series 14 next year, after the Christmas special, and then we'll be on to Series 14, probably in spring, but I am holding out for Easter, but it's probably going to be, I have heard May, so it could be later on, but spring, maybe early summer, but next year. We haven't even had Christmas yet. So anyway, yes, we have the bi-regeneration, which I was seriously concerned and worried about that. This does sound like a good idea. Please don't do this. And then they actually do it. And like with James Bond dying in No Time to Die back here, I was like, please don't do it. It doesn't sound like a good idea. And then they actually do it. And actually, it's not bad. They actually handle it in a pretty good way. The bi-gene regeneration works. I did think maybe it'd work even better if they do kind of merge back together again, or the 14th Doctor becomes the new Watcher. But they don't do that. They do go on what I did hear about them splitting after the event. The day is saved. They go their separate ways. 14 goes and stays with the Noble family and goes and hangs out on Earth with them and Mel. And 15 is the one who goes off to the rest of the universe now, making the first numbered color incarnation, Doctor of Color, and numbered incarnation, Doctor of Color, and the second main one we've seen on TV overall be a split of the original of the main one. It does feel like there is a little bit of awkwardness, but then again, I think the similar problems would work if they were white or female. So I think that was probably due to that the 15th Doctor was always going to be an offshoot, whoever was cast. But yeah, they are officially the 15th Doctor, no question about that. They're going to have the same memories as 14, up to the split and up to them going. But yeah, the bi-regeneration it's an interesting idea. It's not something I would have personally have done. I don't personally think it was a great idea before. It's interesting how it's played out here. And you know what? I'm kind of happy 14 and Donna got happy endings. Like, we were worried Donna was going to die again for realsies this time. But no, actually 14 gets a happy ending. It's not like a romantic type, like if you like Meta Crisis Doctor was with Rose. we'll say 13 went off with Yaz, etc. But I think as a just like family friend, godfather slash uncle to Rose, played by Yasmin Finney, who sadly only has one scene in this episode, as does Sylvia and Sean. They were so good in the Star Beast. Well, at least we got them one last time. And same with Wilf at the very beginning of the episode after his bigger return last episode. And yeah, and Mel's actually going to be in next series because I've seen some behind the scenes stuff with her and the 15th Doctor in his costume on a motorbike. So she's going to be in next series, possibly the finale. So we'll see how things have gone on post this story for her. Same for Kate and Unit, possibly including Shirley Ann in next series' episode 4, I believe it's going to be. They're going to be probably in the finale too, if Mel's death. So we'll see how that all goes. Yeah, the split regeneration and the split TARDIS, or well, the cloned TARDIS, I suppose, using Toymaker stuff. Yeah, I'm not the hugest fan of that, but I will accept it. It was done fairly well. Maybe if there's a long-term goal, like 14 will merge back with 15, or if there's going to be something other plan. We'll see how it goes. But I'm not hating it now that I've seen it. I think it's all right. I don't think it's a particularly great idea, but it's one I don't mind seeing now. Well, now I have seen it, I don't mind it. So I'm willing also to give it, if there's going to be more to do done with it, then I'm more willing to see how that goes. Interesting that the 15th Doctor doesn't have trousers in his scenes here. He will have his costume for next episode, as the trailer confirms, after the episode. By the way, that is one other thing I would like going forward, Russell. Put the next time trailers at the actual end of the episode, not after or after the Unleashed episode. Put them at the very end of the episode, or the beginning of the credits. Beginning of the credits or end of the credits, but before the final BBC Studios Bad Wolf Studios Disney Plus black screen card at the very end. Just back to how it was. I could understand why they would do it for these 3 episodes, make them like big blockbuster-esque episodes, but would like the trailers going forward to be at the end of the actual episodes again, especially since these trailers won't be after the episodes on the DVDs and Blu-rays, after all, or iPlayer. Well, at least on the DVDs and Blu-rays it could be an extra, but not so much on iPlayer. You have to go to YouTube. This is the same thing that happened with Revolution of the Daleks at the end of that, and then they had the trailer for introducing John Bishop as Dan for Series 13, and it was after the episode, and now it's not included in the episode because it was after the episode. And the same thing has happened for these 3 episodes, and it probably will for the Christmas one, although I'm holding out for a coming soon trailer to be in the credits, or at the end of the credits, or at the start of the credits. That it's a bit pedantic, but we'd like it back. We'd like the next time trailers, the coming soon trailers, coming up trailers, etc., back where they belong. Same for previously trailers when they make their return, probably in the series finale, unless we're going to have a recap in episode 1 of the series of the Christmas special. Anyway, so yeah, not much more to say. I will end it by, like I said, I think the bi-regeneration idea, didn't like the idea, but now seeing it on screen, actually I thought it was all right. I'm not sure exactly where they're going to go with it. But it is interesting to see how it will play out later down the line, and how 15 will take on the mantle, especially since the big thing was 14 was feeling the weight of his previous lives as well as this one. That's why I think that's why they explain that's why he has the same face as the 10th Doctor. He's showing an old face because he's wearing out. This body's is wearing a bit thin, so to speak, but not just the body, just him as the character themselves. So now they're split, so half the weight is split, I guess. So 15 carries on, does it usually, and it's only carrying half the weight from before, and 10 has a lot of, or 14, sorry, has a lot taken off. I guess that's how it's going to be. Yeah. Oh, by the way, not the best reason for why the Doctor has the same face, but a plausible and makes a lot of sense one. Quite logical as well. And you know what? It I guess if they are kind of carrying a lot of baggage on their shoulders, they do need some way of letting it go, as they said in the Star Beast. But in this case, it's to kind of divide it into two. One to carry half the luggage and just have their reward and just enjoy life, whilst the other carries on as things are normal, but with only half the baggage from before. So, interesting ideas. It could work out really well in the long run. We'll see how it goes. It's probably certainly going to be a bit more of an interesting and more played out storyline than some of the other longer storylines we've had over the years, and some of the other big controversial changes. Oh yeah, there's going to be controversy to this. Trust me. Um, but we'll see how it plays out. And I'm looking forward to seeing the 15th Doctor's first series and his first episode at Christmas, and first series next year. And yeah, be interesting to see that. Final thoughts on the Giggle. Yeah, this is really great. It's really good. Even with my concerns about what they might do and them doing it, and then learning to like it, but still with reservations. I won't. No, I'm not 100% on board. I still have reservations, but I'm willing to see how it plays out, or how it would work afterwards. So yeah, so got my reservations, but it actually ended up being pretty good overall. Execution, and the rest of the episode is bloody amazing. So yeah. So if that was the one thing that kind of dropped the ball for me, I would understand that, but it still kind of handled it well enough in my personal opinion. And like I said, I'm prepared to see how it will play out or how it would affect the series going forward. So anyway, and also personally, I think I might like the 14th Doctor more than 10 himself, the 10th Doctor. I think this was my more preferred version of Tennant's Doctor. Because he's more older, wiser, mature. He's a bit more sensitive. He's got a bit more character arcs. Yes, he's a bit more reckless as well. But I guess that's just part of Ten's personality that seeps back through. Actually, some of the other ones as well. Yeah, I think the fact that all of this baggage from the past and then letting it go at the very end was quite did make a bit more of a more mature and structured character for Tennant to play that still retained some of those tropes from his younger 10th Doctor. So yeah, I think kind of like 14 more than 10. 10's going to be the more iconic incarnation, of course, but that's the whole reason why lots of people were super hyped for David Tennant to come back, because he was the most popular, or at least of the new series ones. So yeah, but I think 14 might be slightly better as a character than 10. This might be a hot take, but yeah, I think the 14th Doctor, at the very least, is like one place above the 10th Doctor. If I was doing an overall ranking, he's at least one place above, but maybe not by much. Same if it was the other way round, if it was one place down. Because they are pretty much interchangeable. But I think this one slightly takes it a bit more for me personally. So that's my thoughts on him. And that's my thoughts on the Giggle. Thank you so much for watching. I'll definitely watch this episode again. I might do another video talking about my thoughts on the trilogy as a whole, second viewing thoughts, and then the reviews will come next year, because I'm hoping to do one of them for the Universals, and we're going to be doing them in January. So yeah, the proper reviews will probably come January. Apart from maybe Destination Skaro, but then again, none of us have talked about doing that one, so I might do that one for Toons, or an extra one for Hoons. But yeah, I'll probably do the proper reviews in January. Also, I'm kind of a bit busy at the moment with life, work, Earth Agents, and I've been busy doing these videos. I've still got one of the Toymaker animation I want to do. So yeah, fitting time to do all of that is going to be tricky, especially with Earth Agents coming up to being nearly finished and having to be released before the end of the year, and on top of the usual life and work situation. So yeah, another reason why reviews will be January is my life and schedule. So for those reasons, expect maybe one more review video on the specials based on a second viewing reaction to the Giggle, as well as the Star Beast and World Blue Yonder, and Destination Scar. I should probably give that one a second viewing. But yeah, and then I'll watch them again a third time for the reviews, and then that'll be the definitive opinion for the time being, followed by a ranking, of course. The 2023 Christmas special will probably not be included in the ranking, as I'll probably save that for the series 14, as I will call it, ranking later in 2024. But yeah, the other three specials in Destination Scarra will be, well, I'll probably put as an honorable mention, will be on that one. But yeah, January/February 2024 for those. But like I said, I might do a second viewing reaction, second viewing thoughts video for the mini series. So that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. This video is going to take so long to upload.